Hey everybody, it's Chainsaw Reacts. Welcome to the first episode of Chainsaw Pitches, where I pitch you guys superhero shows I would like to see on TV or streaming at some point. In each of these videos, I'll be covering the first couple of seasons of the shows, some of the good characters and other heroes will be introduced to throughout these seasons, and obviously some of the villains, and of course the main villains of each of these seasons, and also covering some story arcs we'll also be seeing throughout the seasons to kind of keep the show going and growing as well. As you can tell by the thumbnail and the title of this video, today we're going to be covering Batman on the CW. I really want this to happen so bad. That's why I started off this series with this video. Let's not waste any time. Let's get into now. Batman on CW Season 1. Really quick before I jump off into Season 1, yes, this show does take place on Earth 1, Earth Prime, whatever you want to call it, the same Earth that Arrow, Flash, and Legends of Tomorrow takes place. So yes, crossovers will happen. Of course they will. Of course. Why wouldn't I do that? I want it to happen so bad. Yes, okay, let's jump into it now. Season 1. Let's start off with the main villain of Season 1. Actually, main villains of Season 1 is what I should have said, because we're not focusing on one villain, we're going to be focusing on two villains in Season 1. No, they are not going to be fighting each other for screen time. I'm actually separating them out. The first main villain will be covered on the first episode through episode 9 of Season 1. And episode 10 through 23, the end of the season, will be focused on the second main villain. The first main villain will be focused on through episode 1 through 9, will be the Penguin. And episode 10 through 23, the main villain of that arc will be the Scarecrow. Some of the other villains we'll be introduced to in Season 1 is going to be Firefly, Two-Face, the Riddler, and Poison Ivy. They won't have huge roles in Season 1, but they're being placed in now to set them up for future arcs and future appearances in future seasons of the show. Now to some of the good characters we'll be introduced to in Season 1. Obviously Bruce Wayne as Batman, Dick Grayson as Robin, Alfred, Lucius Fox, Jim Gordon, and Catwoman. Now I know Catwoman can be seen as a villain, anti-hero, or a hero in some instances, but in this instance, at least for Season 1, she's going to be considered a good person. We will see her in the outfit as Catwoman, Selena Kyle, but I'm going to wait until closer to the end of Season 1 before we see her in the Catwoman outfit. Let's jump into some of the story arcs we will be seeing in Season 1. As you can see on screen here, yes, we will be seeing the transformation of Dick Grayson becoming Nightwing. I wanted to start off the show with him actually being older, not younger in this show, and him becoming tired of being Robin and tired of being Batman's sidekick all the time. So at the end of episode 9, the ending of the Penguin arc, he's actually going to leave Gotham, leave Bruce, and go off on his own, and he will return to Gotham in episode 15 wearing a very iconic suit, except the blue will not be on the chest just yet. He will be adding the iconic blue on there to complete his Nightwing outfit at the end of Season 1. Let's get into Penguin's arc this season. Now, I've already mentioned now he's going to be the main villain, episode 1 through episode 9. What is he doing for these 9 episodes? Basically what he normally does, smuggling drugs and weapons into the city and then distributing them out to different gang members, and other villains will be introduced to this season. Now, why am I starting off the show with this very basic, very simple arc? Because I wanted to show the relationship between the GCPD and Batman, showing how sometimes they're working together and other times they're not working together. Also, I wanted to show how even though the GCPD may or may not be with Batman on some instances, Gotham is accepting Batman and they see him as a hero and not a vigilante or a bad guy. They see him as a hero and they embrace him for who he is. Let's get into Scarecrow's arc this season. He's going to start being the main villain at episode 10 until the ending of the season, episode 23. What is his goals? What is he doing in Gotham City? Well, he has returned to Gotham after being gone for a very long time. He has developed a brand new fear toxin he wants to unleash into the entirety of Gotham City. Now, I know this story arc sounds very familiar to Batman Arkham Knight and also Batman Begins the movie. The reason why I'm doing this arc is because I'm starting off the show with a very basic arc, which is the Penguin, but I wanted to ramp up to something very crazy and very hectic that will push Batman to his limits and that will affect the entire city, and that he will have to do everything in his power, and working with the GCPD and now with Nightwing and Catwoman to go against Scarecrow, to stopping this fear toxin and getting Gotham City back in order. Let's get into Season 2. Who's going to be the main villain for Season 2? I bet some of you thought that I was actually going to pick this villain to be the main villain of Season 1, but I told myself I want to slowly build this character up over time. I don't want to start off the show with him. I want to slowly build it up, have him hinted at, have him reference that in Season 1, but you don't see him on screen until Season 2, Yes, you guys guessed correctly. The Joker is the main villain for Season 2. I have so many thoughts of what he would do throughout the entire season, because it's just going to be him, okay? It's not like he's half the season the main villain and the other half is someone else. It's just him. I have so many crazy thoughts. I'm so excited. I really wish this was a real damn thing, damn it. Some of the other villains we're going to be introduced to in Season 2 is going to be Bane, Black Mask, of course Harley Quinn. We have Joker as the main villain, and we need to have Harley Quinn on the show, and Killer Croc. Killer Croc is going to be a CG character like King Shark and Gorilla Grodd. I want him to be really big, not to the point where he's like 3 times bigger than Batman, but I want him to be a huge Killer Croc, so he has to be CG. Harley Quinn will have a bigger role than these other 3 characters appearing for the first time in Season 2, but these characters will be officially introduced in Season 2 of the show. Some of the other new characters we're going to be introduced to in Season 2, which are good characters, are of course Jason Todd and Barbara Gordon. Barbara will be referenced in Season 1 by Jim, but you actually won't see her on screen until Season 2, and Jason Todd will make his first appearance on the show during the mid-season finale episode, Episode 9, before the big break for the show. Let's talk about some of the story arcs we will be seeing in Season 2. Now, let's start off with the obvious one, which is Jason Todd becoming the new Robin. Now, since he's being introduced for the first time at Episode 9, the mid-season finale episode, we won't officially see him in the Robin outfit until later in Season 2, like close to the end of Season 2, and we're going to see him obviously go through the training, Batman training a new Robin, and then eventually towards the end of the season, taking him out of the Batcave and actually taking him out to fight crime. The second story arc I'm going to cover this season involves Harley Quinn, because we're actually going to see Harley Quinn's origin in this season. Batman's actually going to capture Joker at the end of Episode 9, the mid-season finale episode. He's going to put Joker in Arkham Asylum, and then towards the end of that episode, before the big break, we're going to see Harley and Quinzel for the first time, and then throughout the rest of the season, we're going to see her do the complete 180 flip, help Joker break out of Arkham Asylum, and see her dive down into madness and turn from Harley Quinzel into Harley Quinn. The third story arc I'm going to cover for this season is going to include a familiar face. Talia al Ghul will be appearing on Batman during Season 2. Her arc will start when Joker is put into Arkham Asylum, so while he's in Arkham Asylum, we're actually going to see Talia interact with Batman, and she's going to bring, of course, her extension of the League of Assassins to Gotham, and we're going to have a very interesting arc where they're not really talking very much, and it's really awkward, and there's a bunch of fight scenes. It's going to be pretty badass, and we're going to give an explanation to why exactly Bruce Wayne was never mentioned on Arrow, or why he was never mentioned when Oliver was at the League of Assassins and talking to Ra's al Ghul, because this is the same universe, the same Earth, so we're going to have some explanation to why Bruce Wayne was never really mentioned at the League of Assassins. Let's jump into the third and final season I'll be covering in this video. Who's going to be the main villain for Season 3? I feel like personally this character was used horribly the one time he was used for live action, at least on the movie side, and I feel like it's time for this character to be redeemed and actually used the right way. Mr. Freeze will be the main villain for Season 3 of Batman. This character has a beautiful arc with his wife and that whole story arc, bringing a whole new dynamic to the show, and then obviously his relationship with Batman. It's going to be very interesting to see this new twist and new turn in terms of a villain and what he brings to the show, and then overall his motivation, which is his wife and trying to cure his wife. It's going to be very interesting to bring that into the show for Season 3. Some of the other villains we'll be introduced to in Season 3 is going to be Man-Bat, Calendar Man, and yes, you see that correctly, Deathstroke. Manu Bennett, who played Slade Wilson / Deathstroke on Arrow, will be appearing on Batman during Season 3, and yes, this will be the first time they actually meet, and yes, they're going to have a huge fight when they first meet in person. It's going to be amazing. Batman and Deathstroke, holy crap. I wanted to get to him sooner, but I wanted to wait. I wanted to wait a little bit before he actually appears in Gotham City. Some other new characters we're going to be introduced to in Season 3, which are good characters, will be Renee Montoya and Leslie Tompkins. I wanted to add Renee into the show to kind of expand the GCPD a little bit, give a different perspective than just Jim Gordon's all the time, and Leslie Tompkins because Leslie's not directly involved with Batman and the GCPD, and I wanted to have a different character besides just normally Alfred, Jim Gordon, or now Jason Todd, or anybody else really that's been involved during Season 1. I wanted to have someone else that Batman interacts with from time to time that isn't just someone we've seen all the time, just someone different, something different to add to the show. The first story arc I'm going to cover for Season 3 is going to be Court of Owls. Now, I say story arc. Realistically, it's just slowly setting up this secret organization that not even Batman knows about. And I want to kind of slowly start setting it up now, because eventually Court of Owls will be the main villain, or at least the main focus of a season. But I want to slowly build it up over time, because it is a huge storyline that could expand for even longer than a season. So I want to kind of start setting up a little bit now and give us some hints and teases until we eventually get to that point. The second story arc I'm going to cover is Barbara Gordon. Now, you see a picture on screen of her in the Batgirl outfit. She is not going to put on the cape and cowl until after Season 3. What happens during Season 3, towards the beginning, is Batman actually saves her from getting mugged, and that inspires her to try to go out and do the same thing that he was doing. Now, she's not wearing an outfit or anything like that. She's wearing black clothes, dark clothes, going out at night and trying to stop crime. She's realizing it's a lot harder than it seems. And then over time, Batman starts to notice her and realizes who it is, and towards the end of Season 3, he brings her into the Batcave and starts training her, but she does not put on the cape and cowl until after Season 3. The third and final story arc I'm going to cover for this season and video is, yes, Death in the Family. Now, I know this is kind of random, kind of strange that I picked this story when Mr. Freeze is the main villain for Season 3. Why am I picking Death in the Family? Well, Joker is going to be appearing from time to time during Season 3. He's not going to be the main focus, and then literally the last episode of Season 3, Mr. Freeze is defeated. Literally, the last episode, Jason Todd is kidnapped by Joker, and literally the season ends with Death in the Family, and it will lead into Season 4. It's a cliffhanger, if you will. We know the story, but it's setting up Season 4. It's really sad. I know it's brutal, but hey, that has to happen because we have to get to Red Hood at some point, right? So yes, Death in the Family will occur at the end of Season 3. There you have it, guys. Batman on CW. Let me know in the comment section below, guys, what you thought about this video. What do you think of the format, audio only with the pictures as a visual? Talking about the main villain. Other villains will be introduced to each season. Other good characters will be introduced to in some of the story arcs. Whatever thoughts you have about the video, the format that I went with, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. And of course, tell me what you would do if you had the chance to do a Batman show on CW. What are some of the things that you would do differently than me? Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you so much for watching, guys. Peace out.